Gold just saw the biggest drop since 2013. So that is what we need to discuss within today's update video, because this is going to be a transitioning moment for Bitcoin and crypto. I think crypto could be taking the lead here, and a new phase inside this bull market is about to get started. But it's not a phase we've not seen before. We know what is about to happen here because of gold putting in this cycle or local top. Let's discuss exactly that within today's update video, but we will discuss a lot more, like all of the most important Bitcoin charts and price data. We will take a big deep dive into my Ethereum trading position and what I'm about to do next year, and I will give a big update on altcoins and the upcoming altcoin season. So from there guys, make sure to first of all subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive into the most important content. Since like stated in the intro, gold just saw the biggest drop since 2013. And gold wasn't the only one. Also silver saw the biggest drop since 2013. So this is indeed a major signal of rotation. I think this is somewhat of a starting point of a new stage in the market. And Bitcoin might have reversed its entire pump here, but I think it is our first signal that the market is still ready to take on risks when the time comes. Bitcoin is just lagging still behind other assets, but I think this was one of our first signals that indeed we will be catching up quite quickly here with gold and the US stock market. So it is going to be very interesting, and this is the chart I do want to discuss for the Bitcoin versus gold correlation. And this is a chart we have been talking about in earlier YouTube videos here with crypto's time to lead. And I think that now, since we are seeing gold of course putting in a major local top or even cycle top, this could be the transitioning moment of a Bitcoin bounce and a gold move lower, and that means that we are about to enter a Bitcoin leading phase, like we see in these green phases, where Bitcoin starts moving higher and gold consolidating. I think that gold could see somewhat of a distribution phase here, consolidation, and Bitcoin can be catching up. That would make a lot of sense to me, looking at the entire bull market, where we have seen that usually gold consolidates and then Bitcoin starts moving, or Bitcoin consolidates and gold starts moving. That's what we have seen this entire bull market. We've seen it in different phases, and now it seems like we are getting close to the Bitcoin and crypto leading phase once again. And Bitcoin taking the lead there is also going to be very bullish for Ethereum and altcoins, but I will discuss that later in this update video. And just to put this in perspective, what happened yesterday for gold? Basically, we wiped out almost 80% of Bitcoin's entire market cap here, because we wiped out over $1 trillion for the gold market cap in this entire move lower, about 80% of the Bitcoin market cap. So that also shows me the potential there is because of the rotation. Because if gold is going to see distribution, or we are going to drop even lower, I think more and more people are going to take profits, and more liquidity is going to flow into Bitcoin. And because it's such a massive amount, what has been getting stuffed up in gold over the last few months even, I think it could be quite a big rotation. So I'm getting very excited, and I think the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be very important for this bull market and to see what the direction is going to be here. Bitcoin versus gold pair, of course, very oversold and is now bouncing back. We have been discussing this in previous updates videos. This was to be expected, but every single time we saw the Bitcoin versus gold pair getting this oversold, we always saw major bounces in the market where Bitcoin started a period of outperformance versus the gold pair. And it seems like exactly that is happening now once again. So that's looking very good. Bitcoin also very oversold against the US stock market, but also there we are starting to bounce. Bitcoin versus the US stock market, we are at the most oversold levels since the tariffs low. So very interesting, but that is simply because Bitcoin is lagging behind both the US stock market and gold. So we are lagging behind other assets, but I do think eventually we are going to catch up because we are highly correlated with both gold and the US stock market, with the US stock market maybe on somewhat of a shorter term and with gold on somewhat of a longer term. But definitely very interesting to see how this is going to develop. You can simply see that Bitcoin, after making the tariffs low from the Trump tariff news, saw quite a small bounce and then even a dump back, but gold just stayed moving higher, and the US stock market also saw a crash but then saw a major bounce and is now almost back at new all-time highs. So I think this is a move Bitcoin is also going to pull off in the near future, moving towards or close to the all-time highs once again. Bitcoin, of course, getting rejected yesterday because we saw a major pump getting started, so everybody was getting very excited, but we saw another rejection once again. I'm not going to panic that much. I do think Bitcoin could even drop a little bit lower before eventually heading higher, because I'm still looking at the moving average 50 trend line, to be honest. I think for this bull market, Bitcoin simply needs to hold above the 50 daily moving average trend line, because that is a level we have been bouncing from this entire bull market, so it's going to be a very important one. Most definitely, I don't want to see Bitcoin losing this level, because that means, like we saw in 2021, that the bear market might be getting started. So I think we should hold above this level. If not, I'm going to turn more bearish. I think potentially a bear market is going to get started from there. But for now, we are still holding above it. We could see a liquidity grab and then move higher. I think it's still possible to shake out the lost people, shake out the bears, and then eventually move higher to see somewhat of a bounce close to new all-time highs, or just truly make new all-time highs. I think both are still possible for Bitcoin, but it should happen fast because we are progressing quickly through the entire cycle, of course. So let's see about exactly that. But yeah, like I said, this is still for me the most important level, but we discussed this many times on the channel, so I think you guys should know by now. And now I do want to give a big update on my Ethereum trading position, because my Ethereum trading position is still in a slight loss. I still also have my limit orders open at the 3.6 and 3.45k level, and I'm just going to keep these limit orders open because I feel like ultimately we could move a little bit lower before eventually heading higher. I'm going to open more orders in the near future, so make sure to stay tuned on the channel. And if you do want to join me with this Ethereum trading position, we are slowly building up because we are slowly DCAing in together. We have been doing so over the last, basically over the last month here. Make sure to join me on LBANK. You can now claim a 20% deposit bonus or even a 50% deposit bonus on LBANK if you're going to sign up here with the link in the description on this update video. So make sure to check it out. You can also claim a lot of other benefits like some Apple products. So yeah, you can find the link in the description on this update video. And also I'm hosting a giveaway on X where I'm giving away $1,000 as a trading bonus with LBANK. So yeah, make sure to come and check this out if you're getting interested in that. Of course, in no way financial advice. But yeah, you can also trade a lot of other pairs on LBANK, not only Ethereum, but also a lot of other altcoins. For altcoins is definitely my favorite exchange out there. So make sure to check it out if you're getting interested in that. And from there, I quickly do want to dive into the Ethereum charts, because Ethereum is basically very simple. I also talked about this yesterday. I think for Ethereum, we are just holding above the bull market support band still. As long as that's going to be the case, it's fine. I think we could also see a liquidity grab below the bull market support band before eventually heading higher. But I think for Ethereum, actually the bottom is getting very close. So let's see about exactly that. But we do know that last time we bounced from the bull market support band, we saw a major move higher getting started for Ethereum. So that is of course looking very promising. If you could see something like that again, that would align with my thesis that we are indeed going to see a final wave for Ethereum. I'm still targeting the 5.3 and 6.4k targets for my Ethereum trade also. Because yeah, I'm going to be slowly DCAing out at those levels between the 5.3 and 6.4k level. So yeah, make sure to stay watching the channel. I will keep you guys up to date, of course. But what I'm looking at with Ethereum are the Fibonacci retracement levels. All of these levels have been absolutely spot on this entire cycle. It always corresponded with major support or resistance levels in the market. And I think the 1.6.8 level and the second Fibonacci level are going to be huge resistance levels. So that is where I will be taking some profits in the near future. But for Ethereum to make this move, and also I think in this zone between the 1.6.8 and second Fibonacci level, that is going to be the zone where you do want to be for altcoin outperformance. But to see this Ethereum move, I do want to see a final Bitcoin move first, to be honest, because I think the market is still missing some impulse back to the top side, or we have to see some news coming out. Let's see about exactly that. But I do want to see Bitcoin making a move close to new all-time highs or just making new all-time highs before I think Ethereum is also going to find more strength to make a big move towards new all-time highs. I do still think it's possible because we are in Q4 in the post-halving year, and historically wise that is the quarter where all-time highs are made, where the biggest all-time highs are made and the cycle highs are made. So Very excited about exactly that. Ethereum versus Bitcoin here. I think for the Ethereum versus Bitcoin pair, it's a little bit different than, for example, the Ethereum versus US dollar pair, because the Ethereum versus Bitcoin pair also bounced off the bull market support band. Bitcoin could be taking the lead in the near future. Ethereum versus Bitcoin could drop a little bit lower below the bull market support band, like we also saw many times here in 2020. So I think that is once again possible for the Ethereum versus Bitcoin pair, and that's not going to be weird. I'm not going to panic if this happens. I think the Ethereum versus Bitcoin pair is going to look a little bit different in the near future. But yeah, we will see how this develops in the next few weeks. I think the most important thing is the next few weeks are going to be very important for this bull market. Are we going to see an extended cycle or not? Are we just going to see Ethereum outperform? Are altcoins going to outperform? Everything will get more clear here in the next few weeks. So this is going to be a very important phase to also lock in on the market, to keep your focus. And then we are going to make, because also for altcoins now, we have seen a big drop on the altcoin season index. It's definitely not an altcoin season now, but ultimately these are the moments where you do want to be accumulating and where you do want to be focused before we are going to be heading higher, if you still believe in the altcoin season. And I do so, but for an altcoin season, we need Ethereum to make the final wave and probably trade above the 1.6.8 Fibonacci level or just below it, and sustain the rally also for a little bit for a few weeks and not just immediately drop lower, for example. That's what I personally think. Let's see about that. And guys, that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed that update video. If you did so, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and then I will see you guys within my next update video tomorrow.